Well, our favorite couple, Harry and Meghan, were in the news last week. And allegedly, there was a car chase that happened through Manhattan that was nearly catastrophic, according to the couple. And apparently, the paparazzi were chasing the couple, and they said that there was some difficult circumstances that occurred because of it. So we're going to be taking a look at does Prince Harry's birth chart seem to agree with this story? What can we get from this, the birth chart, in terms of what is Prince Harry perceiving at this moment? So that's really what we're going to be taking a look at. For those of you that are new to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe. This is sidereal Vedic astrology, not Western tropical astrology. So you want to make sure you go to the appropriate calculator if you're looking for your sign. Also, I want to point out I'm running a discount on my website for the month of May. For those of you that are interested in a personal private reading, check for details down below for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at Prince Harry's birth chart and get an idea of what Prince Harry is, what he could be perceiving at this moment in time. Of course, I want to start out with the disclaimer that this astrology reading is for entertainment purposes only. These are all allegedlys, and I'm just speculating as to what I believe the astrology chart is saying. I don't know what factually happened on the night of the car chase. We are just speculating. Okay, so let's take a look at Prince Harry's chart. If you're new to Vedic astrology, I like to use something called the Vimshatari Dasha. Essentially, the Vimshatari Dasha is there's these planetary periods that we all are going through, where there's a certain planet that's highlighted, and that's the karma that you're experiencing in your life at that moment. So for Prince Harry, he's in a Rahu Mahadasha and he's in a Moon Bhukti. So that would be like listed like this. Okay, so Rahu Mahadasha, that lasts till 2025. And the Moon Bhukti is going to last till March of 2024. I'm writing over it a little bit. But he's in both of these planetary periods. Rahu's the major period and Moon is the sub period. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. So basically, when you're running a Mahadasha or a Bhukti, that is what's really being highlighted. Even though the whole chart is overall, it is active throughout your life, there's certain experiences you have where the karma is highlighted. Now, he's in a Rahu Mahadasha, and it's in the sixth house of Prince Harry's chart. Rahu is known as a demon in Vedic astrology because Rahu represents desire, and Rahu can get us to twist things to try to obtain what we want. Basically, what Rahu will try to either twist the truth, Rahu will try to exaggerate, Rahu will try to do whatever Rahu needs to do, smoke and mirrors, to try to get whatever the objective is. Okay, so with Rahu, there's something like you're trying to get something that you didn't really earn like fully legitimately. Okay, so with Rahu, he's literally the karaka of like exaggeration, of deception, of things like that. It's associated with Rahu. Okay, and you'll notice it's in the sixth house. The sixth house has to do with conflict. So conflict, imbalance, it can represent things like divorce. That's why in some of my other videos, I said there is a danger there with Rahu being in the sixth house, that at least during Prince Harry's life, there's going to be some experience of divorce. Okay. That's my opinion, of course. But conflict, a sixth house can represent gossip. It can even represent deception. It's basically all the negative things that we think of in life. So there is an interest there, for these kind of experiences in Prince Harry's chart. Also, the sixth house kind of makes me think of just a generalized drama. Okay, somebody wants to experience conflict, and we know that Prince Harry's already been doing a pretty good job of that. Ever since he released his book Spare, he's essentially, you know, met, I guess, in a conflict with the royal family, even though the royal family might not be saying they're in a conflict. There is this at odds kind of thing where Prince Harry has his side of the story, royal family has their side of the story. So there is this idea of conflict that's happening, okay, allegedly. Now, with the moon, we got to take note that Moon is the eighth lord in Prince Harry's chart, and the eighth lord has to do with shocking, sudden events, events that shock us to our core, because eighth house is the house of death and rebirth. Okay, so it's interesting that right now in Prince Harry's life, we have the sixth house active with Rahu, and Rahu's already a malefic. Then we have the eighth lord active. These are known as evil houses. A lot of our negative experiences in life come from 6, 8, or 12, but the 12th isn't represented here. We're just looking at mainly the sixth house, eighth house, Rahu. But there is a malefic um you know energy here. So I also want to point out that transiting Rahu is in the sign of Aries right now, and you'll notice on May 27th, which is pretty close to when this car chase happened a week ago. Some of these transits can affect like a month before and a month after. But remember, Jupiter and Rahu are having the Guru Chandel Yoga on May 27th. Okay. So there is this heightened energy in that house with the eighth lord there. Okay. Now, this is quite interesting because I feel like, from Prince Harry's perspective, because this is what the chart shows, really what Prince Harry is experiencing. There might be a sense of exaggeration about things at the moment. I mean, Rahu does exaggerate things, but also the eighth lord, it does represent shock. So, I mean, whatever happened that night, this could be that from Prince Harry's point of view, there's a legit feeling of shock. uh, but I also want to point out in this, we have to keep in mind that if we look at just, for example, what's happened so far this year in 2023, with the release of the book Spare, with the South Park parody that came out, with the coronation. Everybody saw Harry at the coronation, and they said he looked uncomfortable, or he looked like out of place. He didn't look quite normal there at the coronation. And I'm sure from his perspective, it was a feeling of, maybe not feeling welcome there, maybe feeling like an outcast on a certain level. So there is a feeling of shock to the emotions with these kind of events. So Rahu's going over the moon. Okay, so there's a shock to the emotions. This is a highly emotionally charged time, a lot of emotional volatility. So when somebody has all this like shock to their emotions, they might tend to not see things the way that other people do. So, for example, the paparazzi have apparently came out and said that this event is totally being over exaggerated. Okay, that this is nowhere near what Harry and Meghan are saying it was. Okay, but I want you to know, with this idea of trauma, in this house with the moon in it, that it could be like, this is Prince Harry's perspective, that he feels like, and in some ways, maybe he's being very sensitive about things. He's in a very sensitive time. And I'm sure, things are not very easy since the coronation and the book and all this drama that's going on. So I feel like, according to Prince Harry's chart, I feel like he believes something happened that night. He believes that there was something very shocking. Now, maybe if one of us were sitting in the car, one of you watching this, maybe we wouldn't quite agree necessarily with it. Maybe we would. But according to the chart, it does show that he believes that this was rather shocking. So let me know what you all think down below in the comments. Also, please let me know other videos you would like me to do. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.